My name is Alexis Feidler, and I am a fellowship recipient of the International Foundation for Ethical Research Graduate Fellowship. So I am a neuroscience PhD student at the University of Rochester. I study the blood-brain barrier using a small organ-on-a-chip device called the microsim, which I actually have one here. The microsim uses a unique membrane that's actually so thin that it's not visible during imaging, and it also allows for the exchange of fluid and other factors across two channels in the device, simulating the two sides of the blood vessel in the brain. In these tissue chip devices, we use induced pluripotent stem cells, which are donor-derived cells that can be reversed into embryonic-like cells that can then be transformed into many different cell types, allowing for a tissue chip system to actually mimic an individual patient. The problem with these cells is that a lot of them retain those embryonic-like signatures, sort of calling into question their ability to model adult neurodegenerative diseases such as Alzheimer's disease. For my thesis in particular, I'm working to address this issue by applying chemical cocktails to these cell types in order to age the cells and make a novel, more accurate Alzheimer's tissue chip model. My particular journey into human-based research is pretty unique. So I actually conducted animal research starting in 2017, and then I went vegan in 2019. In graduate school, which I started in 2021, I actually started questioning animal-based research, both because I felt it was not really congruent with my values, as well as its complete lack of translatability to human-specific diseases. I felt like scientists too often were asking, can I ask this question, and not should I ask this question, which is concerning when there are so many lives on the line. And then it was actually watching Guardians of the Galaxy 3, which is about animal testing from the animal's perspective, that made me realize that science treats all these individual lives as extendable data points. So I made the decision then to leave my mouse-based thesis lab in the third year of my PhD and devote the rest of my scientific career to making science cruelty-free. At the time, I didn't know how I was going to do that, but I had made that decision. I was then grateful to find my new mentor, Dr. James McGrath, over in the biomedical engineering department, who graciously took me in as a third-year PhD student, where I now work on these tissue chip devices. One day I actually was in Jim's lab during my first week or two of training, and I saw a pamphlet for the MPS World Summit, which many of you are probably familiar with, and on the back of the pamphlet had a lot of sponsors from nonprofit animal protection organizations like the National Anti-Vivisection Society, which is sort of governs IFER, the International Foundation for Ethical Research. Seeing these organizations actually really lit me up, because I finally felt like I could be a scientist in a way that was congruent with my values, something I previously did not think was possible. So I am very grateful for IFER and like organizations for actually supporting and funding work that propels science forward, pushing to a future of ethical and more humane, relevant science. Thank you as well to my mentor, James McGrath, for supporting me both in my science as well as in my advocacy work, trying to sort of end animal testing and animal use in research labs. My project in all will hopefully advance stem cell technologies to enable better in vitro studies of age-related diseases. And in the future, I actually hope to work for one of these nonprofit animal protection organizations, pushing to go and make science cruelty-free. Thanks.